Alright, the journey begins to Act 8, Chapter 2, starting with Act 7, Chapter 1. So I have to do Chapters 1 through 4 of Act 7, and then Act 8.1, and then finally Act 8, Chapter 2. So this is a pretty long journey, but in the end, hopefully I can just get as far as possible, and maybe even get Paragon in a record time. I don't know just yet, but more on that later. I have a game plan set out for that, so we'll have to see how it turns out. But yeah, first off we have to do some content. So here is Yondu, the first boss in Act 7 for me, and I mess up big time already, so not the strongest start, but hey, I do get better over time with these bosses. And here's the thing with Act 7, it is more generous with the nodes than Act 6. Act 6 was trying to make you spend as many revives as possible. Act 7 is trying to help you as much as possible with the nodes. So it really isn't that bad overall, though there is one massive difference, and it is the health pools. The health pools of the node, like the regular node fights, like the regular path fights, they have a lot more health than the boss fights in Act 6. So it is a pretty big step up, and the boss fights in Act 7 have just massive health pools, 600,000 or something. So for my rank 3 champions and my rank 2 champions and my rank 1 6 stars, it is not a fun time in the slightest. But hey, we got the first boss down. That's already a start to this really long journey. And now let's check out boss number 2, which is Green Goblin. Now, Green Goblin is super annoying at base, but Archangel is one of the best counters to him, which is surprising because he has class disadvantage. And yeah, Archangel, my second ever rank 3 champion on this account. He got my generic gem. He is a workhorse and a half, man. He just does so much for me overall. Just such a powerhouse of a champion. And you're going to see that throughout this Act 7 run, he really does put in a ton of work. He is just so good, man. Just such a good champion. But yeah, Archangel does Archangel things here. We have some Neuros built up already. My RNG was pretty good in this fight, I want to say, which is always a nice thing because sometimes it can be pretty abysmal. But not this time around. No. We're doing pretty good here. But yeah, Green Goblin, man, like I said, always really annoying to fight. Just sucks that that's his only use. He's not really a good attacker, unfortunately, even despite having 2 dedicated relics for him. Just so crazy, man. So crazy. But yeah, this fight is almost done. Takes a while here at the end, but he eventually throws a special attack. I throw the SP2, and things just wrap up here. Not too shabby in the slightest. Green Goblin, a bit of a longer fight for Archangel, but still, the job has been done. And now it's time for Vision Arcus. Now this man is a proper annoyance. Such an annoying fight overall. This is just what we call not a fun time. Archangel is my best option here, and he can do the fight well if Arcus plays ball, but he did not play ball here at all. He was just super passive. He just was not friendly towards me at all. And so I pretty much get embarrassed here. You hate to see it. I didn't take off that much health either, so it was, yeah, a mess. And CGR is not good for this fight at all because it has power reversal, so my power gain turns into a power drain. And yeah, Vision Arcus, in my opinion, is the hardest boss in Act 7 Chapter 1 by a landslide, because like I said, these bosses are more helpful than harmful, but this guy, no, he just wants to harm you a lot. And yeah, he does his job pretty well. And here is a big issue with my roster right now. So I use Diablo here, and Diablo should be a great counter for this matchup, but the size difference of my rank 1 level 1 Diablo and this Act 7 Arcus is way too big. It is just way too big of a difference, so I can't really do much here because I just don't have enough firepower, which really does suck, but hey, it is what it is. And then I try out Sandman, but Sandman is just not good for this fight. So yeah, Vision Arcus, he definitely was the hardest boss to pick from, but here was the issue. I didn't have any good counters for the other paths, so I pretty much had no choice but to take this Arcus boss, because in 7.1, you can't pick your boss. You have to like pick the one that they give to you, which is grand. That is a grand time. But yeah, Sandman didn't do the job either, so that's pretty unfortunate. But now let's try out Cassie Lang real quick. And just kidding, I don't even use her. I just quit out immediately. You'll love to see it. So now let's try out Archangel one more time. And like I was saying, Archangel, if he gets good RNG in this matchup, is honestly a perfect counter. And in this attempt, I get pretty much perfect RNG. So yeah, not too bad at all. Arcus though, yeah, he's a problem for sure. Like with the wrong counter, like the wrong set of characters, you're in for a rough time, a really rough time. But now we have 4 Neros stacked up, so things are looking pretty dang good now. We have 7 now, so that's pretty awesome. And now we have about like 7 again. And he's starting to melt for sure. And this also has power shield, so I can just drop a special attack for safety, which I do end up doing here because yeah, he was just playing super passive. So check that out, man. He gets stunned, thankfully. I dropped the SP2 and it does enough to finish him off. Very, very close ending, but we got it done anyway, so I'll take it. And that is Quest 3 complete of Act 7, Chapter 1. We're doing pretty good so far, just 1 revive. So let's try to keep it up. Let's try to keep just this pretty good pace going. So now it's time for Act 7, Chapter 1, Quest 4, which is this Hela boss. And Hela is one of the easiest bosses in the game because Heavy Assault is just such a fun node. Yeah, it's no big issue, man. Hela kind of just gets destroyed here, but to be fair, I had some pretty terrible Archangel RNG. Like, yeah, it's pretty rough, man, but we get it down eventually because Heavy Assault is just such a fun time. But then here I don't feel the indestructible because my Archangel is only 6'6", so I need 4 Neros to fail anything completely, which is such a grand time, right? But there is Quest 4 done, and yeah, on to Quest 5, which is one of the most annoying bosses ever, this Punishing Angel. Now, my options for the paths were super limited because in Quest 5, the paths are super annoying. It's a pretty... yeah, it's not friendly at all for some newer accounts. Like, the paths are pretty dang brutal. So I had pretty much no choice but to go for this lane and this boss. And this boss is just so annoying to deal with, man. The Mercy node, first of all, is terrible. I remember back when Act 7 first came out, there were so many complaints about the Mercy node that it had to get, like, removed for a while, and then it came back, and here it is, you know, back again. Very fun node. It's like tolerable, but it's still super annoying to deal with, right? And yeah, there is 1 champion down. And also this character has Mighty Charge and also has this prowess node where whenever she gets 2 bars of power, she gets some pretty big prowess. And here's the fun part, she has Punisher's special attack. So if you take some block damage, you're taking all the block damage. So it is just, yeah, it is certainly an experience to remember, to say the least. But yeah, the fight is going pretty well here at least. Like Elsa Bloodstone doing some pretty solid work so far. But yeah, the Mercy node just becomes annoying again. I have to start dexing more, which is not fun. I get clipped because of it, which is awesome. And the SP1 block damage finally gets me, and I just do not survive this last one here. Hey, still a good effort at least. Now we have Sandman just because for some reason I just use Sandman. And he, of course, is terrible for this matchup. Like, it's Sandman versus a skill champion. It's not going to go too well, right? But, hey, just getting in some damage at least, which we do for the most part, right? We do some damage. So here I dropped the SP2. She purifies all the debuffs, which is fantastic. So I'm like, wow, you'll love to see that. And yeah, this is just a mess. I don't even survive that part. But now it's up to Rocket Raccoon. My rank 1, level 1 Rocket Raccoon. And of course I'm worried here. This man cannot take a hit to save his life. So if I mess up even once, I am just pretty much done for. But thankfully, we do pretty well here. And Rocket Raccoon is honestly a pretty great damage dealer. So I might level him up it seems like a smart thing to do. Like, he's pretty good overall, I want to say. So yeah, not too shabby. And yeah, like the crits are nice. The guaranteed crits pretty much always a great thing. That SP2 pretty nice as well. And here we drop the SP1, and that does the job, thankfully. That was a pretty tough boss for sure, but now it's time for the toughest boss, which is Gwen Perion. Now, Gwen Perion has high energy diet, which means you can't do energy damage to her pretty much. And she also has this fun node called Selective Time Stream. Now, what this does is, every 20 seconds, she regens all of her life back. Just straight up everything, which is nice, to say the least, right? A very nice time. And to prevent it, you have to have Incinerate or, I think, Shock on her. So my options were basically Omega Sentinel or also Bloodstone, and that's pretty much about it. So yeah, here I'm just doing damage, just trying to get some hits in at least, and it doesn't go well at all. I just couldn't get the rotation going down, so I like had to just rinse and repeat. But there I got it somewhat. But yeah, it was a mess, just a massive mess overall. And there I get like some damage in, but it wasn't even worth it, man. I did like 2% extra. It was just such a waste of time. And yeah, it didn't help at all that I was using boost, I believe, which, yeah, now I'm running out of that, which is always a nice time. But Elsa Bloodstone does pretty good here. She is one of the best counters in my opinion because her damage output is all physical, but she still has Incinerate access. So she is really reliable of just doing pretty much standard damage all the time. But there I mess up because I am just not smart, and I take an SP2 to the face. So yeah, my last hope is Omega Sentinel, who should do fine here because she has Incinerate access. She has regular physical damage too. So on paper, it sounds fine. She also has Shield Block for, you know, any safety net. And she honestly does pretty good here. But like I said, big difference with a rank 1 6-star and a rank 3 6-star. And my Omega Sentinel is a rank 1 6-star. So she is definitely not hitting that hard, to say the least. But hey, she still does decent, man. It's just a really long fight, unfortunately. But I don't mess up here. I like don't miss a dex like I did with Elsa Bloodstone, so that's pretty good at least. But yeah, it's just a mind-numbing fight. There is nothing going on besides watching out for the Incinerate timer, which we have Incinerates on for the whole entire fight, so there really isn't an issue there. So the only issue is just me playing bad, which thankfully I don't play that bad here. But yeah, she's going down slowly but surely. 200 hits now. Very nice. Very, very nice. And this is boosted, by the way. I think I was boosted anyway. I should be because, yeah, 7.3 thousand PI. Alright, actually, that's kind of no boost PI. So, yeah, this is unboosted. So, it makes sense why it's such a long fight. Yeah, this is rank 1, unboosted, class disadvantage, Omega Sentinel. So, the result is honestly, yeah, bound to happen. So, here I'm just trying to go as fast as possible. And it just doesn't work, man. She still is going down very slowly. It is rough. It's rough out here, but we're getting it down just a little more. I'm doing like 3 times speed here, man. I'm trying my best to make it like as fast as possible for y'all, but I had to do this in 1 time speed. So y'all know that I went through a lot here, man. This was rough. This was super rough, but we're almost there, man. Just like a few more hits, hopefully. And here is the 1 time speed. And there is Act 7, Chapter 1 complete. That was tough, man. That last fight was really, really tough, but we got it done. 1 revive, not too shabby in the slightest. And now let's claim our rewards. And the rewards for Act 7, Chapter 1 are, I mean, they're okay. It's like a 1 to 2 gem, some tier 5 class catalyst fragments, and like 10,000 6-star shards. It's okay. And there is Gwenpool being Gwenpool. Man, I want Gwenpool so badly on this account because I would rank for her and ascend her probably. But yeah, I wish I can get her, man. I don't have her right now, of course. But yeah, if I do get her, it's going to be a nice time. And if I don't get her, then I have the main account anyway that I can just wail on and rank for her on. So I'm not too worried about that. But there we get some Cosmic class Catalyst Fragments. I don't have a good Cosmic character in this account, so not really too fussed about that. So please, from this 1 to 2 gem, anything but Cosmic. It's the one class I don't have a good champion for, so please just not Cosmic, anything but Cosmic. And of course, we get Cosmic, because why not, man? Why don't we get Cosmic? Super annoying, but it is what it is. Like, if I get a good champion eventually, then yeah, at least I have that ready for them. But for now, it is just not helpful in the slightest. But now let's see the 6-star crystal. So please, just something useful here, man. I see Moondragon in the reel. Great champion. Crossbones, Kate Bishop as well. Oh my gosh, that'd be a game changer. So many great options here. There's Mcoc, and the reel looks pretty nice so far. But we land on a 6-star version of Jubilee. Now, Jubilee isn't really all that. She is kind of fun, but I want, like, better fun champions at least, so not too fussed about that. But I'll take it, man. It's not like a massive loss. But that is Act 7, Chapter 1 complete, and we are just getting started here, man. We have a lot more to cover with Act 7 still, so I cannot wait for that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this run, and yeah, that's about it for me.